Welcome to Nature's Glory Cabin Off-Road again. Today we're going to Hidden Lake. In order to get there we have to do a few other trails in order to get there, so we're going to highlight a few of those on the way in and out. And I hope you enjoy this. We're going to map coming up here. It's pretty busy because we did a bunch of trails on this day. And we're going to start out on 11, go to 1036 and Fixer-Leeco, go all the way down the same way we've done before, Bald Rock, New Virginia Ridge, and we're going to sneak off and go to Hidden Lake and head right back out and go toward Hill Creek and make a great big loop. So here we are pulling off 1036 to Highway 11. We're going to show you here the easiest way to find Fixer-Leeco. There's little wiremans right there, and the next spot is Fixer-Leeco on the left. It's not marked. We always stop here for a little photo op for whoever's with us, so we try to get pictures. And we hung out for a few minutes. We're near real time, and we're pulling on back out. I guess I didn't embed a picture. Generally I do. There we are, shifting into 4 high for the moment. Mine usually does better shifting to 4 high and then to 4 low. So here we're going to make this round here. Make sure you don't go straight. Straight's private property. Going to go down this hill or some ruts. I'm highlighting this because this can be slick occasionally, and it's fairly steep, and it's getting rougher as time goes on. So be prepared. It's one of the first things you get to on Fixer-Leeco. And once you get down it, pretty smooth sailing. Then we're going to get into some ruts. There that is from behind. You can kind of see a rut starting in the middle, and it will get worse over time unless there's some attention, and I don't know if there will be or not. There's a culvert here that is pretty rough. You'll see it in the rear better than from the front. I have done this in the opposite direction, and it is pretty rough, especially if it's slick. Little scenery from behind. We're going to be cutting in and out here to a bunch of things. This is the first little hole that's got a drop off to it. I show this because it'll kind of surprise you. Stock vehicles can get through it, but they usually need to go off to the left and kind of go off camber in order not to drop and drag on that little spot. And I'll hang out there for a second, wait till he gets through it. They get through it. That's Scott and Gail behind us. Be sure to stay left at that particular junction, and we're coming up to the flexi spot. There is a bypass on the left, however at the far end of it there is a rut you'll need to negotiate. Decide which way you want to go. It's always up to you. Kind of show that from the left front wheel. It's not as rough on the left side as it used to be. It is still rough on the right side of the vehicle, passenger side. So we're going to show that from behind. You can see that's actually a camcorder video of Scott and Gail coming down through it. And there he is coming right up behind the Jeep. And we're going to take off here and head towards some more water crossings. Water's down. We hadn't really started having our rains as of yet. This is early February. I think the 3rd of February. But there's always water. There's springs in the area, so there's always water around. I've seen it up to about halfway, maybe a little bit more on these 33s. Tends to drain off into the creek when it gets to a certain point. This is a fairly long one. There's a couple of these, and again, the water's down. Usually this is full of water. And here comes the next one, a little longer. There's a spot up here that has a little bit of a drop off. I believe it's a pipe under the water. So you'll notice it when it kind of drops. I generally try to take it kind of slow because it's right around this curve here, and you'll watch me drop. Oh, maybe it wasn't in that one. And we'll show that from behind. One of our YouTube friends that follows along with us, we've gone on a couple of rides. Anytime you want to ride, get a hold of us. We're up in the area quite a bit. We run these, not the same ones every time, but it seems like it though, I guess, if you've been watching my videos. So we take different people, kind of show them around, and you decide if you want to do easier or harder. This is fairly easy. This Fixer-Leeco is probably the hardest of the easy group, probably about a 3. K-Fork Bald Rock, New Virginia for the most part, a 2, maybe 2-3. Hidden Lake's not any harder than probably a 2-3. It does have some ruts and some water. Again, you can tell I've sped this up, so don't be thinking we're driving that fast. I think everything's been double timed. It took us, I think, on the full-time map, I think it took us around 4 hours, but we did make some stops for various things. Alright, this is coming up to the one with the drop in it. I'm sorry, I guess the last one I thought it was, but it wasn't. See that tree in the side there? That's right about where it's at. That tree wasn't originally there, and you had to kind of be careful. Now the tree's kind of a marker. There it was. There was the drop. On this day, you can see there's some wood floating, some tree trunks and limbs, etc. floating. Trails are always subject to change. You never know. A storm can raise the water, knock trees down. Always be prepared. Make sure you have equipment. I carry a battery-operated chainsaw as well. So now we're out of that water. We're going to show it from behind. Show Scott and Gail coming through it. You'll probably see that little drop off again. There it was right there. And you'll see the tree there. And you can see him drop in it too. It's slightly deeper there, but nothing that a real four-wheel drive vehicle can't handle. I don't mean your all-wheel drive SUV. Please be sure to pack in and pack out everything. Leave the trail better than you found it. Let's make sure we can keep these open for years to come. I don't like picking up after other people either, but I do. I hope everybody else would start to do the same. There's a little hole here that can be deep. Today it's not too bad. There's a little oil pump there off to the right. You can barely see it in the video. But this one can be, I don't know, 18 inches deep. You see that from a different perspective here with them coming through it. See, it was relatively deep. He's on 35s, and I think it was a 3-inch lift. And there we're going to pay homage to the former Bronco Killer Lake as you go by. And now we're going to go up to Zachariah Lake. This is created from the Zachariah Creek, and it was used back in the day to help pump oil out of the ground. They would use water from a pump house and pump it into the ground and force the oil up. We stopped here for a few minutes, and we're not going to spend that time on the video, so we're going to turn right back around, head right back out of here. And you'll notice when we get down here, that sharp curve, there is a Daniel Boone Backcountry Byway sign. We're going to go left. We came up from the right side. And up on the hill there is that pump house I was talking about. It looks kind of like an old boat. Now we're going to cut on through here and zip ways, and we'll take this little bypass to the right to get down to the road on the way down, heading down. You can go up to the left. It's kind of steep and a sharp right down the hill, but this little connector is handy, gravel. And here we usually slip shift back into too high for a while. After a bit, we'll get down here to the junction of Fixer, K-Fork, and Bald Rock. We're going to go straight and continue on a little section of Bald Rock, and when we get to we're going to stop here first for a photo op. It's the place we usually stop. Depending on how many are with us, you can get about 3 other Jeeps in here counting us. That's 4. We've had that many in it. Of course, it depends on water level. If the water's too high, you really can't get in there very well. We always wear rubber boots so we can walk around in the water a lot better. And here we are taking off. We've got a picture coming up here of us sitting there. And we're moving on. We're going to go down here a bit. There's a lot of scenery here. I've had that in a lot of others, and we're going to bear right here on New Virginia Ridge Road at that pump. A lot of scenery in the area. I've showed them in other videos. Feel free to go back and look at some of the other ones that are longer. Today we're just going to shorten it up. We're back here to the bridge, and right here at this bridge, we're going to cross this bridge and go left for Hidden Lake. It took me a long time to realize what this was. I finally did, and we kind of incorporate this. There's only a couple of people with us. There's not much room back in here for much more than 2 or 3, because you're in and out and you got to turn around. I'll show you that when we get there and you'll see what I mean. Got another map here popping up. It starts around this area here. It actually shows all the way from coming down and the bridge at New Virginia there and going back to Hidden Lake. We've done all of it down to that point at this point here. So now we're going to go back to Hidden Lake. I've got all of this trail in here because this is the first time I did it. It's fairly interesting. It's not very hard. It's got a few places you need to watch out for. There's a washout here and there, but it really isn't that bad. A little bit of a hole right there on the right. You got to be careful around that depending on your clearance. Again, I'm on 33s with a 3-inch lift. And he's on 35s with a 3-inch lift. But he's a 4-door and I'm a 2-door. This is the only section of this video that I have the full trail in, because this is what we're highlighting today, is the ride back to Hidden Lake. Now off to the left, what you can't see is there's a creek down there. It's got some really nice waterfalls, etc. that are in it. You can see those if you get out and stop and take a look. And we're coming up on this building. I don't really know what it is, but you can see some tanks behind it. There's water here. It's not as deep as you think. You'll see as we go into it here how deep it is. And we'll show it from the rear as well. I'm sure it can be a little deeper if it's wetter. I've seen it just a slightly bit deeper since then. And we'll switch back to the front here. It's kind of a sunny day. Now we're going to go on down through here a ways. There's a couple of washouts. We'll show you those. They're not bad. At this point, they're easily negotiable. There's some trees and some brush hanging over, so you will get some pinstripes, especially as spring comes on and everything grows more. There's something sticking out of this water here. Stay to the left of it. I think it's a root, but there's no sense in taking a chance on a tire problem. Now here's a little washout to the left, and we're going to cross this. Stay to the right there, and you can try to stay to the right if you can, because there's a little rut on that left side. It's not going to bother you, but you might bottom out depending on what kind of clearance you have. And there's another little washout on the right there, I believe. But none of these are that hard to get around at this point. So we're still just continuing right along here. It's fairly smooth, as you can tell here. It's probably, gosh, maybe a half a mile back in here. It's not very far. Just all of a sudden you're there. You'll notice when we show that on the video that just all of a sudden you're there. I'm assuming this was a retaining lake as well, probably used for the same reason as the other one, to pump water down into the ground and get oil pushed up easier. We're going to get down here, and if you notice up to the right here in a minute, I think I have it labeled, there is another trail that comes down. There it is, right to the right. It's much rougher, very steep. Definitely not going to get down that with a fairly stock vehicle. Now this way we could go all the way around like we're going to do here, or we could turn left and go down that. We decided to go around it to the right and go slightly off camber, and I think we're going to come back the other way just to be different. There's a culvert down here. It's not hard to get over. We're going to do a little short hill climb here. Well, not really much of a hill climb. It's fairly easy. I'm sitting there waiting on them to catch up. I sat longer than that, probably cut most of it out. And we're going to cruise right up through here, and you can see it's fairly smooth. Just like a little gravel road more or less here. And as soon as you pop this hill, there it is below you. There's Hidden Lake. It's up here in the middle of nowhere. We're going to go through here. A lot of people have been through here since the first video I saw, where this dam now has been run down, and the water's fairly deep here. You really can't get out during it. You can get off on each end of it. There's a spillway down here on the end. And there we have the rear camera. Get a little better perspective of that water. Obviously, again, we weren't moving this fast. The water does have a spillway off, so when it does get deep, it will wash on out. So it doesn't get that deep. Now we're going to turn around. We're going to go down here to the spillway. This is rock down here. This is the way we did it. And a little three-point turnaround here and go. There's enough room for me to get up and them to come down at the same time. But I wouldn't want to do it for more than 2 or 3 vehicles. You can get kind of bound up. You get too many there and hard to get through and get turned around. And there's not much other places to turn around. On the other end down here, there's a little room off to the left in this direction where you might be able to turn around. A little flat spot right there. And we're heading back out. I'm not going to show the whole trail going back out because we don't need to. We've seen it. But I am going to show, we're going to go the different direction, up and out than we came in. Remember, we went around the off-camber side, the big sweeping left turn. This time we're going to go the steeper way out. It's not that hard, depending on your equipment. We're going to go, here we are going up the other side, a little steeper, a little rut or something there. Stay right, that tree's a little tight, so you better watch that tree. And we met a few people up here. I don't know if I got them on the camera or not. You can see them there. I cut them out for the most part because I started cutting out because we weren't going back the same way. And here's the rear camera view of doing that. And like I said, on the way out, I only left in the highlights. The ruts, the water, etc. Washouts. This particular washout here is a little, depending on your clearance, you may drag a little here. So try to stay high left if you can. Off camber, depending on your clearance, again, you could drag a little there. I drug my rear end a little bit. And there was that washout that we were trying to avoid. This is an in and out trail, unless of course you can do the harder section. Most people won't do it. It's a pretty good climb out, and it's pretty steep coming down actually as well. And there's that stick or whatever it is sticking up out of the water, so keep an eye out for things like that. And here we are back at the building, and we're going to go back through the water one more time. Don't be surprised when those trees ends up in your way sometime. Somebody's going to have to cut them out. It may be you. And moving right along, we'll be back at the bridge in no time. Again, that little hole here is just up from the bridge. Another little sweeping right turn. Get around a little bit of a spot, not bad. And where they had to cut some trees back. And I believe that was the little hole. Going down is obviously easier because gravity's your friend. As we come down the hill here, we're back at the bridge. We're going to continue straight. If you want to go back the way we came, you could turn right and go back over the bridge. But we're going to do a big loop here. There's another map coming up. And you can see where we came out. We're going to follow New Virginia Ridge out all the way, and then we're going to go up to Highway 52 and around to 498, and then back on Bald Rock, and then to Cave Fork. New Virginia Ridge is pretty good from this direction. There's a little mud at the other end. You can avoid a lot of it if you go off to the passenger side. In this direction, there's a few of them there that you see. You can go off camber a little bit and not be quite as go through the mud. Okay, we're at the end of New Virginia Ridge Road. There are a few rocks and all coming up the hill. We didn't show those, so we're going to go left on Highway 52 here. I'm going to show you the major turns. Go down here for a little ways. We're going to turn left onto 498. Go down here a little ways. You better watch for Bald Rock because it's not marked. It has a blue church sign right in the curve, so we're going to make it left right there in this direction for Bald Rock. This is a pretty rough road. If you try to drive as fast as we're showing here, you would really be shaking your teeth out. Now I'm just going to show the Bald Rock water crossings. The most interesting parts. There's a lot more if you want to go to the climbing area. You have to pass that, and then you get to this after a little bit. Again, if you want to see more of these, there's other videos that shows more of these trails. So if you need to see more of them, you can. Don't take this as gospel because there could be other things that can happen. Conditions change. Don't forget that. Regardless of what I'm showing you now, again, I'm posting this here almost 3 months later, so lots of things can happen in that time. We go down here quite often. My wife takes scenery pictures. If you want to watch and look at that stuff, it's over on the Facebook page of the same name, Nature's Glory Cabin. She puts pictures of the trails out, usually the same day or the next day when we do it, with pictures of everybody that's there, as well as scenery pictures. She maintains a Facebook page. Every now and then I'll post a little something, but videos is my job. And this looks like the last water crossing, and we're going to show that from behind. And you'll notice the pump there. That's how you know where you're at. That pump is, the left would be New Virginia, the way we went, and straight is this small section of Bald Rock we're going to continue on until we get to Cave Fork, Fixer-Leeco Junction. Again, there's what we said, continue straight. And then we get to this junction that we passed the last time. Now we're going to make a right onto Cave Fork Road, and we're going to go out to Highway 11. This is a pretty scenic place here. We take pictures and do video. This is a composite of the pictures my wife took of me going across. And then we got video, camcorder video of Scott and Gail. And we're going to zip on out. These two great big rocks, pretty well marked the end of it. It's very smooth compared to some of the other stuff. This is about a 2. We're going to get out of here now, and we end up on Ashland Camp Loop. And we're going to get down here and we'll show you a map, because we're going to head to Hell Creek. We'll go down Highway 11 to 3 Mile Branch Road, take Holly Road, and get on to Hell Creek, and come out the other side, and all the way back to 11. Here's 3 Mile Branch Road. We'll get up here, we're going to bear left to stay on it. It's not really marked. This is part of the old road before they put the new one through. So we're going to stay left here. We'll go down here to Holly Road, make a right, follow Holly Road all the way to the entrance of Hell Creek. There is a place where you have to be careful and turn. Here it is right here. Stay on Holly Road. It's a dead end straight ahead, so you can't go far. And here we are coming up on Hell Creek entrance. Hell Creek's a pretty easy road too. Sometimes if the water's up, it can be worse, but most of the time it's around a 2. There can be washouts, so you need to watch out for them. Things can change. It's very scenic. We're going to show a lot of rear camera here. You can see the rock stuff a lot better from the rear camera than you can on the front, but you'll see it from both perspectives. There's a great big one here. You notice there's some rock shelters there, overhangs, whatever you want to call them, and there it is from behind. It only takes about 15 minutes to do all of Hell Creek most of the time, so you don't miss much. Here's another great big rock face. I'm going to show that from behind. Hopefully you can see it a little better. You see how big it is as you watch here, how tall it is. And here's a water crossing. It's water crossing on the left end, because on the other side it can be steep and slick sometimes if it's wet enough. Kind of deceptive on the camera, but again, it's not hard. Here they come across that and up the hill. I don't think I'll see them on the camera because I'm already past the crest when they come up. And here is the last water crossing. I believe this is a pretty good one. This one can be a little deeper than others, but we're going to take care of pictures being taken. That's why I'm kind of off to the side. See, it's a little deeper. Show them coming through it. And as you get through this, there's a gravel road off to the driver's side in this direction. That's MFRP, Miller's Fork Recreational Preserve. That's also a rock climbing area. World-class rock climbing in the area, so I'm told. Here's another rock feature as we head out. We're getting close to the end now. This is pretty much the last rock feature, and we're going to get out and head back. We're going to get to the top of the hill to Shoemaker Ridge Road, and we're going to make a left on Shoemaker Ridge Road, and we're going to fall all the way out left, all the way out until we get to Highway 11, and then we're going to stop at Coop's General Store. We'll show you that when we get there, and that will be the end of the ride. So I hope everybody's enjoyed this, and you can watch how we get out of here. On this end, it's barely marked, but now we're back at Highway 11, and we're going to head right down here to Coop's General Store, and we're going to stop, and we're going to end our ride here. Straight ahead takes you all the way to Slade and the Mountain Parkway if you want out. Other way takes you to Beattyville. Hope everybody's enjoyed this. Like, subscribe, come back again. Let me know what you think. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching.